Smart Comp 2 is hands down the best compressor I've ever used. Always be a little cautious when someone says that, so here's my reasons on why I think Smart Comp 2 is the best compressor that I've ever used. Of course, as a compressor, it does have its purpose and where it sits for its use, so let me show you why I think it's the best overall compressor. So here's a song we're working with.
You say I might have been wrong, well so what, it's been too long, I've come to realize.
So let's get some compression on that kick. Let's go add it on here. I think the best place to start is the overall user interface. This is a very clean user interface, and here's some things I love about it. When you go and make some changes, you can always switch to a different state here. That way you can always go back and recall that state. If you want to delete one, you can just click delete there. Another thing that's pretty cool is you can use the compressor in a normal way on the entire stereo image, or you could use a compressor on the mids and sides completely separately. And here's why the user interface is so great. Check this out when we start messing with parameters.
You say I might have been wrong, well so what, it's been too long, I've come to realize there's not.
You can see here real-time changes as of the compression, so you can start to visualize what the compressor's doing.
You say I might have been wrong, well so what, it's been too long, I've come to realize there's not a single feeling there. I've been invisible while you've been conditional.
We'll get to the user interface later, but the real power lies with the AI learning to get you to a great starting point on your compression. So let's go click the drop down here, select kick, click the listen button, and press play.
You say I might have been wrong, well so what, it's been too long, I've come to realize.
So here's a good starting point, but at any point I want to go back to this point that AI came up with, I can always click this button right here. So there's the original manual settings we had, and then if I click that, I can go back to the initial setting that the AI came up with. And again, we can be clicking these different states now and saving those parameters so I can start comparing different settings that I've done. So what I want for this kick is I want it to be nice and tight, compressed, but I also don't want it to lose much of its presence.
You say I might have been wrong, well so.
Now that's super punchy, I like that. Here's the second reason that I think this is one of the best compressors I've ever used, is how easy it is to shape sound. I'm not a compressor wizard, so if I bring up a normal stock or any other third-party compressor, I know how to utilize it to compress the sound how I want, but I'm still somewhat of a novice on actually getting it to shape the sound the way I want. It is so much easier with Smart Comp 2, let me show you.
You say I might have been wrong, well so what, it's been too long, I've come to realize there's not a single feeling there. I've been invisible while you've been conditional. So let me set this straight, there's nothing that will ever share.
And look how much easier it is for me to visualize what the attack and the release is doing to that kick signal.
You say I might have been wrong, well so what, it's been too long, I've come to realize there's not a single feeling there. I've been invisible while you've been conditional. So let me set this straight, there's nothing that will ever.
And its automatic setting is to keep the release on auto, but you can manually tweak that as well.
You say I might have been wrong, well so what, it's been too long, I've come to realize there's not a single feeling there. I've been invisible while.
And now my absolute favorite part on shaping sound is this bottom section here. So there's three areas for us to continue shaping the sound of this compressor. We can do the style between clean and dirty. We can do a little bit more spectral compression. I don't tend to really mess with that too much. But then also we can change the color from dark to bright. And that's where you can get the kick, the bass, or any other sound to sit sonically how you want after it's through the compressor.
You say I might have been wrong, well so what, it's been too long, I've come to realize there's not a single feeling there. I've been invisible while you've been conditional. So let me set this.
And now without needing to know exactly what the knee is, what the attack, the release, the threshold, or any of those items are, I was able to go in and easily compress and shape this kick the way I wanted it to fit into this mix. So take a listen.
You say I might have been wrong, well so what, it's been too long, I've come to realize there's not a single feeling there.
It's nice and punchy how I wanted, but it is a little bit louder. So let's turn off the automatic gain and get it at the same level and then compare it solo. Great, so now it's tight and punchy just the way I wanted, but also remember we can always go back and compare it to what the AI wanted.
You say I might have been wrong, well so what, it's been too long. I've come to realize there's not a single feeling there.
This actually brings up a really good point. It's something that I found myself often happening with Smart Comp 2, is I get so dialed in on a specific sound and shaping it that I somewhat take away from what I originally wanted. And half the time I go back and listen to the initial AI recommendation, I think it sounds better. This is one of those cases. I think what the AI originally did sounds better. I just need to go adjust the gain a little bit.
You say I might have been wrong, well so what, it's been too long. I've come to realize there's not a single feeling there.
So I added just a little bit of reverb. Now let's compare the before and after. Now, I've used more than a few AI helping compressors and other plugins in my past, but this is my absolute favorite and I think it's worth a look. I love that it is so transparent, but also you can shape your sounds with it, so it doesn't have to be transparent if you don't want it to be, and the user interface is completely unmatched. Whether you're a beginner or an advanced user in music production, this compressor makes it so easy to compress the way that you want to, sonically get the sound how you want, and overall just help you out as a tool in every single way. And lastly, there's a free trial, so there's no reason to not go check it out for yourself and try it, and there's even a sale going on for a little while, so be sure to check that out if you're interested. But until next time, I'm Phil. Keep creating music.